Mhm.
All right, folks, we're waiting to go live on YouTube. As the gremlins over at YouTube get the feed started and feed going, we are just about there. And once we got a lot to go over today, we've been off well, we were off last week. And I'm going to go ahead and share the link now. So we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Suds News, brought to you by Suds and the Sports Circle. I am Vinnie. This is Angela, and we are here for you today. It is Monday, August 19th. And hey, Carolyn, how are you? Welcome. Hi from New Jersey. Well, you're on with East Coasters here. Thank you for staying up late. I'm in Connecticut. She's in Massachusetts, so we're all here in the Eastern time zone. So thank you for joining and welcome. Got a lot to go over. We were off last week. Let's get a little bit of some of our normal stuff out of the way. We are an official affiliate for WWE Shop, which is Fanatics Experience. Go over to sudsandsquaredcircle.com/wrestling merch. That has our affiliate link in the URL. Get it something from Hulk Hogan celebrating 40 years of Hulkamania, anything from WrestleMania, anything from any WWE superstar, and we do get a commission off of that. Programming note, Dockside at the Bay tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here on YouTube, where Kim and I will be going over The Bay, which is a web series. If you don't know, highly recommend checking it out. Also, Angela and I will be partnering for a couple other projects coming up starting in September. We are going to be, and here's the official announcement, starting in September, we are going to be starting a new series, a new show called "Take Me Down to Studio City," based all about Studio City, which is another web soap. It is on the Roku channel. Check that out. It is the brainchild of Sean Kanan. So we will be doing that. Take Me Down to Studio City, as well as Angela Answers Fan Mail. That'll be starting in September as well, where we go through monthly through all the hate tweets and all the stuff that goes on Soap Twitter and Soap Twix, and we basically call out all the people for their stupidity, and we take down all the trolls. That's going to be actually our first monthly show. That's going to be half on YouTube and half on Patreon. So we
Cool.
are going to be doing that as well. So uh,
Very excited for both of them.
yes, I am very excited as well. We've got a lot of shaking up that happened in GH these past couple of weeks. A
Oh
lot
yeah.
of stuff that was very unexpected.
Hmm.
Um, and we're going to be going over it. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, get notified. And even if you are going to not want to post in chat, go ahead and react to the chat because it does help the algorithm, helps to get our shows in front of more viewers. Okay, so as always, today is season 3, episode number 2, and we've got 2 weeks to go over. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And we've actually saw something today that I wasn't even aware that we were going to get a return on, 2 returns on today's episode,
Yeah.
actually. Uh, but we'll get into all of that. Go
Hmm.
ahead, get into the chat room. Let us know your opinions, and we'll be able to incorporate those into the show as well. Um, as you know, oh, before we even get started with General Hospital, last week, I believe it was last Sunday, it was Mama Cat's birthday from 10th floor. We were
Hmm.
preempted last week, so I promised that this week we were going to sing Happy Birthday to Mama Cat. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna sing Happy Birthday.
All
And in
right, here we go.
4, 3, 2, and 1. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
happy
Happy
birthday
birthday,
dear
Mama
Cat.
Cat.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
All right. So we always like to make our friends and our podcasting friends happy. Hopefully that didn't lose the viewers. But
Yes.
I'm no we're not gonna quit our day jobs here to
Yeah.
become record labels. Um
Although I gotta tell you, my daughter's boyfriend gets the funniest kick out of every year on his birthday. I sing it to him like Marilyn Monroe sang it to President Kennedy. And he gets the biggest kick out of that. My daughter's like, it's weird. I'm like, that's why it's funny.
yes, exactly.
And he looks forward to it every year. Just saying.
The other big thing is that my birthday is this coming Thursday, so I'm going to be celebrating myself on Friday night. But either way, we are going to be getting into some general hospital right about now. Uh,
Mhm.
let's kind of just, I mean, we're going to be kind of starting from the beginning
Mhm.
because of the simple fact that we had Morgan's ghostly visit on
Mhm.
last Tuesday.
Yep.
Um, visiting Sonny, who was on the ledge. He was really on the ledge, and he was ready to end it all. And
Mhm.
amazingly, Morgan showed up. He kind of gave Sonny a pep talk, and was the catalyst for Sonny to go talk to Kevin and get the ball rolling to get him back medicated.
You know, my girl's children continue to be a disappointment even in death. He could have nudged his father. He could have, confirmed, yeah, dad, you were a shit dad and you still are. I'm just saying the all of the calls on Twitter for Sonny to jump at the end of that cliffhanger episode just really warmed the spot in my chest where my heart would be if I had one. Really did. Made me believe in the true, spirit of Christmas.
Well, unfortunately unfortunately for those of you who are wishing for Sonny's demise, he did
Hmm.
not jump. He did get off
Yeah.
the ledge, and he went to go see Kevin. And kind of like the beats of the stories now, we're seeing where the the writing regime changes are kind of just coming full force right now.
Oh, absolutely. They are wrapping up things with a quickness. I mean, same episode, he
Yeah.
found out that his meds were being tampered with, or that he found out that there was something wrong with his meds and that he was, it was placebos that he was getting.
Yeah.
Same episode.
Yeah.
They're like, we're done with this.
And it was two different ways. First, he went to go see
Yeah.
Kevin, and then Donna took some of
Yeah.
his vitamins, or his pills, his candy,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's how they found out both ways. Like
Yeah.
as if to say, you know what, we're just gonna throw it all out. There was no question. Sonny's gonna find out there's no medication.
And that really makes me think that that part of the story was a Patrick thing
Yeah,
because how quickly they ended it.
yeah,
Because they do not end stories because fans don't like that's not happening.
no.
So it leads me to believe that it was either a Patrick thing or because of the true life issues that Mo was having.
And that's a possibility because he
Yeah.
did take 2 weeks off to the point
Yes.
where, for his mental health, to the point where, and he was honest with it about it on State of Mind, that Frank called him
Mhm.
and said, listen, if you don't come back, we have to recast, or at least
Right.
temporarily recast.
Well, he said that it was, because there were people that were blasting Frank for it. And then he went on Instagram. Did you see he went on Instagram and made a follow-up post saying, listen, no, this isn't how it's being painted. He was offering that to me, and I said no. It
Yeah,
was him trying to help me,
yeah,
and I said no. He was like, you guys are trying to make him the bad guy in this, and that's not what it is. And
I did not see that, so thank you
yeah,
for pointing that out.
yeah. He said that Frank talked to either him or his wife every single day that he was out
I
checking on
did hear,
him,
yeah,
and was really supportive and good.
And it kind of shows you that, actors are human. They
Yeah.
have their own life, problems, especially with somebody who suffers from bipolar disorder in real
Mhm.
life, as Maurice Bernard does.
Yeah.
Some of these stories I can guarantee hit very close to home.
Mhm.
Just like he said that when he was going through the storyline with Mike on the show and Alzheimer's,
Mhm.
his father had died from Alzheimer's not too long before that.
No,
So
it's actually his father died after that, but his father
after,
was
okay.
going through it while he was doing that story. Yes.
So,
Towards the end stages of it. Yeah.
yeah, it does take a toll on
Mhm.
everybody's emotions and everybody's
Well, yeah,
psyche.
Laura Wright, other actors have talked about that too, about how their body doesn't know that
Right.
they're not actually experiencing the things when they're making themselves cry, when they're making, their body is, treats it like it's real
Yeah.
and doesn't really, so when they have those really heavy things, their body doesn't know that it's acting.
Acting. Right. So, so here, when you go off on for all the trolls out there in the Twix universe, when you tag the actor and complain about the actor, when you're really focusing your emotions towards the character, that's something you have to stop, because the actors themselves are the ones that you're going after, and that's not cool. That's why Laura Wright has come to the defense of not only herself in recent past, but other actors on the show, especially Cynthia Watros, even during the Carly Nina feud, where she came out and said, "Listen, do not attack Cynthia,
Right.
attack Nina."
Oh, Laura Wright is the champion for all of her co-stars. It
Yes.
annoys me sometimes that that is not returned to her, but it is what it is. And also, people need to realize too, if you put it in the GH tag,
Yeah.
the actors are probably going to see it. And it's not them searching their names. It's not because so many people are like, well, they shouldn't search their names. Well, one, if they want to search their names, they absolutely can. But two, it's how the For You tab works.
Yeah.
You see the things that you associate with mostly. And for a lot of these actors, since GH is their full time job
Yep.
and the show tags them and fans tag them, that's the first posts that come up, whether they're tagged in them or not.
Right.
And if you wouldn't say something to somebody's face, you should really think about if you would say it online.
And that's a good point. Unfortunately, too many people like the anonymity of social
Yeah.
media and have big brass balls behind their
Right.
keyboard and
Oh
don't,
God, yeah.
you
Keyboard
know,
warriors, fake names, fake pictures, and all of that. And then they play the victim
yes.
when somebody dares to clap back at them.
Yeah. And we've seen that all too much
Oh
recently.
yeah.
Regarding just stupid garbage posts. That those people don't even deserve to have be talked about. But either way, the fact of the matter is, when like I said, these actors are, they are people too, with real
Mhm.
emotions, real feelings, and real XYZ.
Yes.
Um, okay, so we're still dealing with the fallout from Christina's fall from the Metro Court window. Of course, we talked about it. Just there's a lot that you have to suspend your disbelief. The fact that the window literally broke with very little force from
Right.
a even pregnant 185-pound girl, you know, who just tripped over a bag. In any
Right.
hotel that would never happen.
Exactly. But that's one of those you have to suspend disbelief
Yeah.
things. And that's just how it goes. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Carly should be sued for shoddy workmanship. I was like, well, Carly's not the one who built that hotel.
Right.
Jax is. And, and these same people who are saying that, complain about how many stories Carly is in. And I'm like, really? You're calling for her to be made the center of this one? That's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's not really a part of this. I think
No.
it's just yeah.
Although, what I really don't like is it's almost like they're trying to make the entire pregnancy storyline just a part of a bigger umbrella in terms of Jagger's vendetta against Sonny. And it's almost like the baby itself is now just an afterthought, a prop.
Yeah, but that's kids on soap operas until they reach a certain age anyway. I've always said that kids on soap operas are props. And the dead baby is a classic soap opera trope plot.
Yeah.
But it's part of the Jagger Sonny thing, but it's also part of this Kristina, Molly, TJ,
Ava, yeah,
it's a prop in various stories,
it is. Yeah,
and it's also the prop that's bringing Rick back to town,
you're right.
which is great.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. And I mean, I know that we're probably not supposed to be this, but I mean, I made a tweet on Friday after Jagger told Kristina she was under arrest with his picture that said not all heroes wear capes, because I was cheering him on. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, I know this is gonna blow up in his face, but I can't stand Kristina. This is what's so fun about soap operas.
Well, yeah, and everybody has
That,
a different opinion. Yeah,
the characters your favorite characters are at times going to win, and the characters you hate are at times going to lose, no matter if they're good, bad, or otherwise. And you got to love that about a show.
that is very true. Although I was completely on the opposite side of things because I do like Christina, and I do, you can even ask my wife. I literally yelled at the TV, even knowing the arrest was coming. I yelled at the TV and I said, "That's complete horseshit." You know, um, yeah, it's that's but you know what the thing is that it's so must see at this point because you don't know where things are going. They wrapped up in these past 2 weeks, they've wrapped up so many stories in no time.
And then kicked off more.
Yeah, they really did. They kicked
Mm-hmm.
off more. And they did. We should at this point say that they officially named Chris Van Etten co-head writer with
Yes.
Elizabeth Corte. And so that, so their stories are starting to come out now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
Yeah.
see because you have somebody from the old regime, you know, with somebody from the new regime, and let's see how they mesh together.
Yes.
Because Chris Van Houten was never actually gone. I mean, he was let go of the head
Yeah.
writer.
Right, but he was demoted to breakdown writer.
Right. He was demoted to
Right.
breakdown writer
Right.
and then now promoted again.
Right. And I mean, Chris and Corte have worked together for a long time because Corte was his
Yeah.
associate head writer the whole time he was head writer. So I think they'll do okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the biggest problem with Patrick is the last soap he wrote for was Bold and the Beautiful, which is a very different soap opera.
Yes.
Much, much, much smaller cast.
Much smaller cast and only a half hour compared to an hour.
Right. And from what I heard, he hated the size of this cast. And the last time he wrote for General Hospital, it was a different time. It was a different show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that was the biggest problem is that, it wasn't his GH.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like Bold and the Beautiful. I've always enjoyed Patrick's writing. I liked a lot of the stories. I liked the stuff with him and Elizabeth. I thought there were beats missing, but there are always going to be beats missing. But I mean, I've been enjoying the show all year, very, very much.
Yep.
But I'm excited to see what's happening going forward. I'm excited for the Lucky Holly stuff coming up. I'm excited for a lot of things.
I am too. I'm excited because I don't know what's going on.
Right.
We've also heard rumors that, Lulu may be coming out of the coma and
Mhm.
being recast, and there's a lot of heat online because M. Rylan was not even considered to come back to reprise the role. I guess she had
Which,
called to say she's available, and you know they said no. They basically
yeah,
want the recast, and apparently Julie Berman is not going to be coming back, so they are going with.
Julie Berman's not interested. I'm not sad about Emmy Ryland.
I'm
She's
not
an
either.
actress. She
Yeah,
wasn't Lulu.
right,
Lulu
and that's
wasn't sweet and demure. Lulu was a Spencer. Julie Marie Berman was a great Lulu. Now, who I'm hearing, the number one I'm hearing is Stephanie. How do you say her last name? Getsel. She was on Guiding Light. She was on All My Children. She played Laura Wright's daughter, Cassie's daughter, on Guiding Light.
okay.
And she can play Spitfire.
Okay.
I would love that, and I think that that would be a good sign that there's going to be some great Spencer family stuff.
Yeah.
That's the number one voice I'm hearing, or name I'm hearing, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I mean, even as of Friday's episode, Laura got a phone call, and today's episode as well. Laura got a phone call
Mhm.
saying that Lulu took a turn for the worse.
Right,
So we shall see what happens going
right.
with that. Just kind of catching up in the chat a little bit. Hey, David, welcome to the chat. Carolyn says, I never was crazy about all three of the Davis girls. David says, Kathy Lepard is an associate writer
Hmm.
the show as well.
Yep.
So thank you for that information.
Hmm.
But they have been closing up a lot over the past 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Um, as soon as I mean, I will kind of jump around, but as soon as we saw James going to the water last week, you knew exactly what was going to happen.
I'll go you one further. As soon as James was missing, I
Yes,
knew there was going to be a scenario where Cody was going to save him from something,
yes,
and they were going to kumbaya it out, and they did.
yeah, and I'm glad.
And I gotta say, that little James actor did really well in those scenes where he was sitting in the boathouse.
Yeah,
Right. And it wasn't like he was trying to eavesdrop, but he was like stuck there.
his facial features were fantastic. He was like,
Where it
just,
was so great. He was just
he
like,
was like,
why, God, why?
yeah.
It was fabulous. I really, really enjoyed him in those scenes.
It's just a matter of how they're going to use that information now. Because normally you have an adult overhear something to that effect and try to blackmail. But to have a
Oh,
kid,
well, you notice that Michael invited Nina to that get
yeah.
together. And didn't you mention that Mac and Felicia and Maxie and the kids were all going to be there? I thought he did.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
I'm pretty sure he mentioned that they were all going to be there.
Possibly, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that the secret's coming out in some manner at the end of the month.
Yeah. Do you
Because
think
that
that
it's supposed to be that thing's supposed to be at the end of the month.
Willow wanting to go back to GH was the original intention, or just like they went for a straight halt on anything Willow Drew related?
Well, at first, when she said that, I was like, oh, they're putting the kibosh on this whole Willow Drew thing. But then right after that, they had Willow talking to Drew and telling him that she can't stop thinking about him. So I think
Yeah,
it's just another plot point in that story. But her going back to GHC, I had heard that they're planning on revitalizing um the hospital side
yeah, which would be
and bringing in more. So it makes sense that you know
yeah,
that might play into that as well.
which works, and especially with today, we saw
Mhm.
Terry and Brad both back.
Yep.
I'm glad that and of course they're recurring. They come in when they're called. But I was
Hmm.
happy to see Terry back. I was happy to see Brad back, and I really like their dialogue. Like I like
Hmm.
how Terry was just bringing up all the stuff of Brad's
Yeah.
past, and he's like, "How would you know that? You weren't even here." And she just takes out the
Right.
file
Brings
that's
up a
like
big file. Yeah.
thick.
Well, I like that too because it's a good refresher for people, and it's good for maybe new viewers
Yes.
or returning viewers who weren't around back then, who weren't watching then, had taken a break or whatever. I like when they do things like that.
And you know what? To be honest, I had completely forgotten about him tampering with Finn's drug tests.
Mm-hmm.
I had totally forgotten about that. So yeah, that did work as a
Yeah.
refresher. But the way that they were talking about Britt and how, he kind of said Britt believed in second chances. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that he won just because of her. And lo and behold, he's put on probationary period as a lab tech.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's like you want to root for the guy after, we all love Perry Shen.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He's a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic actor. But after all he's gone through, yes, he has a shady side, but we saw his genuine friendship with Britt as
Right.
as the time went on. And then they kind of dropped the ball with the
Yeah.
whole they kind of dropped the ball with the whole Brad Maxie friendship after Britt kind of put them together and said, I need you guys to
Yeah.
get on the same page, be friends, whatever. Um, they kind of dropped the ball with that. But I am happy to see him back, and hopefully that means he'll be back more often.
Yes.
Uh,
I hope so too. Oh, my dogs are being crazy. Hold on a second.
um, I do. I like Brad, and hope if they're going to revitalize the hospital scene and the medical side of things, hopefully that means we'll see Felix back. Hopefully we'll see, other characters, Amy and
I have a feeling that because Blaze's brother's coming. There's a lightning storm outside, so they're all full of piss and vinegar. But I have a feeling that Blaze's brother may be a doctor because he left. She said that he left the music business because of mom. I
right.
have a feeling he might be a doctor, and he's coming to town. Natalia's getting more family.
So David says, I believe that dinner Michael mentioned is for the extended family of Chase and Violet. So we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of weeks, or next week or so, I
Mm-hmm.
should say. But and it's like, all right, so that kind of brings up the question is, what the hell happened with Blaze just all of a sudden being yanked off Kansas and going on tour?
My opinion,
And this had a lot of play online.
yes, it did. And I have a speculation.
Okay.
So they're bringing back Lucky.
Yep.
They're bringing back Lulu.
Yep.
They're bringing back Holly.
Yeah.
I think they're bringing back Ethan too.
Which is always a possibility.
And I think they wanted
Parsons
Kristina single, and they're going to put her with Ethan.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because the thing is that, I mean, Kate Manzi got a lot of crap online, but the fact of the matter is that she's right.
Yeah.
Canon, Kristina is bisexual.
Yeah.
When she came out as bisexual.
Yeah.
She had romantic relationships with men. She's had romantic relationships with women. When she came out as bi.
Yes.
Kate's right. And when Kate was given the character history she would have been given on Kristina is that she was bisexual.
Right.
That's the history of the character.
Yeah, exactly. No,
and I have a feeling with as vehement as she was arguing, she knows that a male love interest is coming on for Kristina. So that's why she was defending that side of things to try to get a jump on it.
She took a lot of crap online, and people were saying that, oh, it was, um, Jacqueline Grace Lopez, that's her name, right? Yeah. She was let go because Kate Manzi didn't like her, or which, I'm sorry, they had tremendous chemistry on screen.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere.
And I mean, whether they liked each other or not is immaterial.
Right.
Some of the most famous super couples of all time, the actors hated each other.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Kristen Alfonso and Peter Reckel on Days of Our Lives couldn't stand each other for the first couple years of Bo and Hope.
Really?
Like
Okay.
literally could not
Wow.
stand each other. Jeannie Francis and Tony Geary went through a phase of not speaking. You know, just
Yeah.
seriously, it doesn't matter. They're actors. They do their job.
Yeah.
And Kate Manzi does not have the power to get
No,
anybody fired.
no, she doesn't.
And I really, really, really think it's because they're bringing on a male love interest for Kristina.
Which would be good to see. I mean, it again, it's going to piss off those in the LGBTQ community because of the simple fact that again, they're taking away a same-sex relationship and putting her back with them, in a heterosexual relationship. But at the same time, it's in the character's history. She dated both men
Right.
and women, so you really because that's how she identifies as bisexual, and you can't you
Right.
can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, well, she's got to be with a woman because we need representation. Well, she's still on the show as bisexual. She's just
Right.
be with a man at that point.
And it's because another thing I think would be very interesting is because Christina's going to be going through, I think, a dark period,
Yes, I could tell.
which
I could already
Ethan
tell.
is more, that's kind of more Ethan's bag,
Yep.
which could be interesting, him helping her through that. And Natalia's staying,
Yep.
Blaze's brother's coming.
Yeah.
So, you hook her back up with Ethan, then you bring Blaze back.
Yeah. Which is
And
always a
then
fun
you got
part.
a triangle.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
I
soapy.
exactly. I just, it just came out of nowhere. Like it was a shot that
It
nobody
it
saw coming.
was, which is why I think that it's
Yeah. Well,
about
I mean,
the Spencer story that's coming.
speaking of the Christina's dark side, she is definitely she's playing out her mob princess at this point as she asked for a favor from her father. And Sonny being back on his meds now, basically
Yeah.
I can't do anything, Dava, because it'll all come right back to me and you because of
Hmm.
what's going on currently. So
Right.
he was actually the voice of the reason at that point, although she still wants vengeance.
Right.
One thing I have to ask your opinion though, and this
Hmm.
is because as Christina is talking to Alexis and everybody, and she's referring to the baby as my baby.
My baby, my baby, my baby, my
Right.
baby, my baby. And it
And
makes
nobody's
me,
correcting her.
nobody's correcting her. And not only that, I wanted to punch Alexis in the throat the other day when Molly opened up to her
Yeah.
and she pushed her to, your sister's going through the same thing as you. Like, what?
Yeah.
I am so glad Rick is coming back. I'm so, so glad Rick is coming back because my God. And Molly has no idea that Christina was planning on filing for, that paperwork that she had drawn up
Yeah.
about her having custodial rights to the baby. She
Yeah.
has, she has no idea that or Christina's like my baby, my baby, my, you know what I mean? None of that stuff. But Alexis is lecturing Molly about, being the, I couldn't even, oh my God, I was so annoyed. So annoyed. And the thing is, Molly's right.
Yeah. She is.
Molly's right. Christina, that baby is dead because Christina went to that damn hotel room when she should not have, and she knew damn well she should not have.
Yeah. Completely
Ava
agree.
didn't push her out that window
Nope.
at all. I
No.
mean, Ava, Christina didn't attack Ava.
No.
Ava did not push Molly out or Christina out that window.
No, she didn't.
It was an accident. It's just like when Carly went down the stairs when her and AJ were arguing, and she
Yep.
put her ring in AJ's face, and he grabbed her hand and she pulled it away. And she felt it was an accident,
Yeah.
And Carly was just as much to blame as AJ was. Kristina is, you know what I mean? Kristina never should have been there, ever.
No, she shouldn't have.
And yeah.
Yeah, catching up on the chat. Carolyn asks, um is Heather Web if I could talk, is Heather Weber coming to an end in September? I'm
I don't
assuming
think so.
the storyline. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with that storyline. I know that Allie Mills has been doing double duty. She's been doing her bold and beautiful character as
I
well
think
as GH.
I think it's probably a little bit on hold um for the Lucky stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, I mean, they're playing bits and pieces. Everything we're seeing right now with Jeannie Francis was filmed back in like April or May.
Yeah, because she's been on vacation.
Because she's been out. She actually left a little early for her vacation because her mother passed away end of April, early May. So she left a little bit early. But all of this stuff that we're seeing, Jeannie hasn't been on screen since, or hasn't been on set since the late spring. So everything we're seeing with her was filmed
Months ago. Yeah.
months ago before she left. So I would assume that the big stuff that's going to happen with Heather happens a little bit down the road.
Yeah.
So that's my guess.
Wait for Jeannie to come back, but also for the Lucky stuff and the Lulu
Right.
stuff and all that to kind of end up. I have a feeling it's going to end up being a Spencer centric storyline coming up. And you know, who knows? Maybe Heather, because she's tormented the Spencers for so long, it could tie into that. But I think it's got a bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, do you think that Lucky's going to come back as a, you know, a head of some, you know, alphabet soup government agency?
I think he's involved in the WSB.
Yep.
I think that's why Holly's involved with his return. I think his return is about Lulu.
Yep.
And about, you know, it's going to be working on finding, you know, partly finding Charlotte, you know, to get her home. I think it's going to involve the WSB, which is why we have a new WSB outpost in Port Charles.
You know, the girls of Pier 54 brought it up on their podcast. After everything that's gone on in Port Charles, they're just
now getting one, outpost. Right? Yeah. I know. And I'm really excited about this because from what I've heard, Jason is really involved in this story with Lucky's return. And obviously so will Carly be because of Jason and Brennan and the Spencer angle and all of that. So that's going to be great, especially because Sonny's going to be busy with the Rick, Ava, Kristina, Molly stuff.
You know, and it's like, because the thing I said back in December was about Jason coming back was that I didn't want it just to be status quo. So far, his return has been great. He's had storylines, even though it's involved Sonny, it's been separate. Now he's back to being Sonny's enforcer, but I don't think it's going to last that long.
I don't either, especially because they made up off screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which tells me that was not the big accumulation of anything.
Right.
Culmination.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's late. So they made up all off screen. It was very anticlimactic.
Yep.
So there's something else coming down the pike. And also, did you notice that Jason said copy that multiple times?
Yeah.
Honey, that's the thing.
It is, yeah.
So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, because it's almost like he's in almost FBI mode, as in working as an operative.
And the pharmacist was like, "Are you FBI?"
Yeah.
And he was intimidating with him, but not like he used to be.
Right. No, he wasn't. You're right.
So I have a feeling. I'm still holding out hope. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I could see WSB service in Jason's future.
I think
modular service.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I don't foresee Jason being like he's he's there now because Sonny's back on his meds and everything kind of you know they rectified the situation off screen, and then he's just been there as the voice of reason, just like Lois said,
Hmm.
I've never known you to lie. So if you're a man of few words. So if you say that the money is legit, which
Yep.
that was a complete swerve as well. Whereas there's not going to be a new record company for Brooklyn. Now the money is going
Yeah.
to Deception,
Right.
with Natalia being the CFO.
Yes.
That just, I don't know, that came out of nowhere too. Like all this
Yeah.
stuff coming out of nowhere. And again, it's the writing regime change.
Right. And it was, with getting rid of Blaze,
Hmm.
there's, really not a use right now for a record company.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
But just the way that it's been playing out.
Hmm.
But
Oh, yeah.
the best part of that whole situation with the pharmacist being locked in the whatever bunker that he was in was Scotty coming around the corner with the snacks
Running.
and seeing Jason there. He's like, "Oh shit!" And then you just see the snacks
Oh
on the
my
floor.
God. I love Scotty. I really do. I
And
just
never
love
even
him.
followed up on that either. If Jason came out and saw those, like, "Ooh, who was?" Like
Hmm.
they could have picked up that kernel and followed it, but oh my God, King Shriner is a classic.
Oh
Just
God, he
the,
is.
the way
Yeah.
and the way that he was interacting with the pharmacist, like, what kind of snacks do you like? Because there's no
Mhm.
electricity on Spoon Island, so I'll just grab like donuts and coffee and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I was dying.
And it was interesting to me that he was planning on taking him to Spoon Island.
Yes,
What's
because
going on out there? I thought it was going to be turned into apartments or some. She had said that it was going to be that a developer bought it who is turning it into apartments. So obviously that construction hasn't happened.
well, yeah, because we still never found out who actually
Right.
built Spoon Island.
Yeah. So I have a feeling. Yeah.
Could that be where Valentine and Charlotte are hiding out?
Possibly. It'd be silly, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Um, at the end of today's episode, um, Jason told Sonny that it was Valentine that was the one that originally tampered with the meds. He
Yeah.
basically, Jason went to Anna and said, "Listen, I'm going to tell you who tampered with the meds, and it was Valentine. And I'm sorry, you got to stop protecting him."
Right. Now, what I'm hoping is that Sonny is going to send him to go find Valentine just as Lucky's trying to find Charlotte and they can team up.
Yep.
I
No,
want that.
I think that would probably be like the best thing to
Yeah.
introduce, because Jonathan Jackson did say that he and Jason had scenes together.
Yes. So, and Lucky's first scenes that he's filming are in Africa.
Okay. Yeah,
It
kind
is
of
in
like when
Africa.
he gets a phone call to come back.
Right. I'm assuming he's getting a phone call. And since they're doing this is also why I think they're bringing Ethan back.
Yeah.
Because he's also Lulu's brother.
Yeah.
And so is Nick. So I'm kind of hoping that, maybe we'll
Hopefully
see it at
Seattle back.
Huts, which
Yeah.
would be great. We'll see.
Yep. I hope that we get Nicholas back. It would be good to
Oh,
see us
God, yeah.
again. Kind of get that entire Spencer family back together.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Nathan, welcome to the chat. How are you tonight? Um, but yeah, so let's kind of there were a few silly scenes this week, um or the past couple weeks, as Alexis is coming out of Christina's room, and they're dealing with the entire situation about losing the baby and everything. And right around the corner, here comes Scott asking if Alexis you
Yeah.
know, will testify for Ava against Sonny, and she went off on him.
Yeah.
He said, "Really? You're gonna ask me at this time?"
That's Scott,
Um, And it's like the other, and I'm assuming the other reason why Carolyn had asked about Heather is because Heather and Scott had a couple scenes, and
Hmm.
even though Heather was originally okay with the idea of not having her case retried, Scott's like, oh well, we could sue the hospital, we could sue the manufacturer of the hip implant, and
Right.
so got her all set with money, and now
Hmm.
he's second guessing it.
Yes. Now she's starting to go, hey, wait a minute. Maybe I don't want to spend my whole life in, yeah,
Yeah, so um
maximum security co-ed prison.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Uh
Yeah.
but that would get her almost her freedom, sue the hospital, and then she can go ahead and kidnap Ace.
Absolutely. Um, yeah.
Do you think that now kind of going off on a little bit of tangent, uh, do you think that Esme is still alive?
No.
Do you think that just she's gone?
Yeah, sadly, I think she's gone.
Because that would have been a good foil if Heather did get out of prison and
Hmm.
kidnap Ace and met up with Esme, who's been hiding out on some remote
Right.
island. I think that would have been a great story, and it always
Oh,
could be.
I'd be all over that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would kill for them to bring back Avery Kristen Poole, even as
Ah,
Esme's twin,
yeah,
who's not evil.
exactly.
If they were getting ready, if they were going to bring back Spencer, even if it was a recast,
Yeah,
he ran into her in Europe and thought she was Esme, but only had some of his memories. So, she found out who he was and she's bringing him home,
yeah,
and oh, my sister had a baby,
yeah.
Timmy.
Although that twin thing has been used to death
It's
on.
a soap opera trope. It's going to be used forever.
Yeah. Uh, but I mean, actually, to be honest with you, they're actually down to only one set of twins, and that's Jason and Drew,
Hmm.
because allegedly, Alex is dead, Ryan is dead, so
Hmm.
they're down to only one set of twins that it's left on canvas.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
that remains to be seen. All right, so I gotta hand it to Taj Bella over these past couple weeks. He
Hmm.
has been chewing up the scene, and he has been showing his acting chops. This is
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're waiting for
Yep.
TJ. Instead
Yep.
of just being seen in the scrubs and then just a kind of throwaway doctor
Hmm.
role, now he's in it.
Yep.
Um, and it's like you really start to actually finally get invested in the whole TJ Molly dynamic
Yes.
because of how different they're
And
passing their
she's
grief.
a really good actress too.
She is, yes. I and with all the recasts that they've had with Molly over the past year or so,
Hmm.
this one, I'm sorry, is better than any of them.
Yeah.
Even better than Haley Poulos.
I was going to say this one's better than the original.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
She brings a level of maturity to the
Hmm.
role that needed it. That's kind of like the biggest argument for the two new Davis girls, being Kate
Right.
Manzi and Kristen Vaganos, in that I honestly feel, in my personal opinion, Haley Poulos and Lexi Ainsworth just didn't have that maturity level. Not that they weren't mature, but
Right.
they kind of like they looked younger.
Hmm.
They didn't have that mature look to be
Right.
able to portray this role,
Right.
this story.
Mhm.
I think Kate Manzi's been doing a fantastic job, and now nothing against Lexi Ainsworth at all. She was great, but in order for this story,
Right.
the way they went with it,
Hmm.
Kate Manzi was the perfect choice for it.
I agree. I agree. And I mean, honestly, I know that there's so much speculation about this and the show gets so blasted for this, but the fact of the matter is that they needed an actress who was willing to be on contract.
Yes, and
And while Lexi has said that she was willing to work more, that's true. However, she was not willing to be on contract. And willing to work more is not good enough if they can't say, this is when you have to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
For this story, they had to have an actress they could say, you have to be on set this day, this day, this day, this day. And with people who are not on contract, they can't say that.
Right.
And that's just the reality.
Exactly.
And people can bash the show continuously forever and ever, amen. But Lexi Ainsworth did not want to be under contract.
Right.
This storyline required this character to be under contract.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think that the original baby is still alive, or do you think that that's just completely done?
That's done. I don't think the original baby is still alive. Honestly, Tony had the best idea that it would be great if the baby actually lived, but Rick kidnapped it because he knew Kristina was trying to keep it. And he arranges for Molly and TJ to adopt this child. That's actually TJ. It'd be so great.
Yeah, because I mean, regardless of where Rick Hurst has been, Rick Lansing, we don't know if he's still in Port Charles. We don't know where he's gone to.
No, I'm pretty sure that they said that he's in LA, but he keeps in touch with his daughter.
Okay. So
he's a lawyer in LA, is I'm pretty sure what they said, that he was working in LA as a lawyer or something. He's on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it would be fabulous. That would be
yeah.
I don't think they're going that way, but it would be a great, great story.
It really would be.
Yeah.
Do we know if Rick Hurst is in for a long arc, or is he just in and out?
I have these two little yippy dogs who are anyway. It's not a long arc, but it's not a tiny one either.
So it's not just like
in and out. He's here for a while. Yeah. He's here for, it's I would guess that I'd guess that he's around for a few months.
Okay.
And Burton is convinced that it's going to turn into longer.
I'm sure.
So, which I would love because he's a fabulous actor.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Such a great actor.
Yeah, he really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see some of that interplay between Rick and Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Rick and Sonny.
Fantastic to get together.
Yeah.
And Rick and Sonny, and have that whole dynamic. Because last we knew they were on good terms.
Well, they're going to be on opposite sides of this one.
Oh, absolutely, they are.
And it's going to be great.
Absolutely. Do you think that Rick comes in as the federal attorney that tries Kristina?
That would be really, really interesting, but I don't know, because I think the spoiler for Wednesday or Thursday or something is Molly gets the support she needs. So, I mean, it'd be really interesting if he came in as a federal prosecutor. Yeah. Only in a soap opera would that guy be able to be a federal prosecutor. But I mean, Luke was mayor, so whatever. That would be very, very interesting. It would absolutely have to suspend disbelief since it's his niece. But
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact that Lansing, Corinthos, I mean, if he's on the West Coast and he's hired, I mean, of course they do their due diligence anyway. So I mean,
I was going to say the DOJ would know that his brother was Sonny Corinthos, but still, it's a soap opera. They all, they don't recuse themselves for whatever.
I hope, speaking of returns, I hope that the Spencer story brings Cyrus back. I want to see Cyrus have some interplay with Lucky and that whole Spencer clan.
Yeah. John Lindstrom said that he filmed with Cyrus and Heather, the Cyrus and Heather actors.
Oh, okay.
And we haven't seen that yet.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully
Yeah.
that comes out.
Mhm.
Let's see. So let's see. Well, we have Cody and Sasha finally kind of taking that next step. That was that wrapped up the same day as Cody and
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
kind of wrapping up. Like literally Cody and Sasha about to go to the bedroom, and then Maxie comes in and spoils the whole thing. Uh
Yeah.
and so it's like, again, these stories are just ending like nothing. Um
Hmm.
and again, the starts new short stories. Um I like
Actually,
how
something just occurred to me real quick. At the end, in the previews for tomorrow, Laura's saying to somebody, "What are you doing here?"
I didn't see the previews because I watch Hulu, so it doesn't do.
I'm wondering if it was Cyrus.
I did see somebody on Twix say that it could be Cyrus.
Yeah, because it was somebody that she didn't seem happy about being there.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm not sure who else it would be
right.
that she wouldn't be happy about seeing there.
Because she did say that Kevin was meeting her there.
Right. So she wouldn't be upset to see Kevin there,
Right, exactly.
but Cyrus could surprise her.
Yeah.
But,
Hopefully
we'll see
Marty comes
tomorrow.
back too.
Yeah.
Hopefully Marty comes back. I haven't seen the Kentucky Fried Colonel in a while.
Yeah. Right.
Um, Not to mention that's one of Matt's best uh voices that he does. Um, all right, so
Oh.
let's see. We got also, what else do we have going on? Um,
Brennan and Carly and
yeah,
Anna.
Brennan and Carly and Anna. That scene there. Brennan is smooth.
He is so charming. You
Yeah.
just, I'm like, he's so charming.
Yes. I think it's the Australian accent. I
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm doing a rewatch of Once Upon a Time, that series that was on,
love that
and
show. Yeah.
he played Blackbeard.
Really, I didn't even know
Charles
that.
Melcher was Blackbeard. Yes.
I'm gonna have to watch it again now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge role, but he appeared, throughout, and
Yeah.
it always makes me laugh. But he is such a charming son of a bitch, that one.
Yeah.
He really is. And if Valentin truly is the bad guy, if they're sticking with that, if there's not another twist, then I'm pretty sure that Brennan is for Anna in the long run.
In the long run. Do you
But
think it
for
might?
right now, they're going to dabble with him and Carly. I'm pretty sure he's going to shake the sugar tree with Jason, and Jason is not going to be happy about his interest in Carly. We already know that Jason's not happy when Anna
Right.
told him originally. The
Yeah.
look on his face, he was definitely not thrilled. And he didn't tell Carly that they think that it was Brennan that got rid of the evidence.
Yeah.
So Jason's not going to be happy about this whole situation.
No. But I like seeing Brendan on screen.
Oh,
I'm glad that he's sticking around.
mhm.
Of course, we know that John Cates is on his way out.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is how they're keeping Mora. I have a feeling he's going to be the one that takes the fall for Ava.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I think he's going to
Uh,
end up being the fall guy for all of it, which is sad, but I also love Ava, so
yeah, but it's like Adam Harrington. He's been doing great in the role, but that's only because I didn't know the original Jagger. Like, I wasn't watching when Antonio Sabato Jr. was Jagger. So this is the only time I've ever seen Jagger on scene.
I
And
was,
a
and
lot
he's
of flack for the recast because he wasn't Jagger.
right, but I was fine with it. I did watch Jagger. I was watching.
Mhm.
And, he's not the teenage kid who showed up robbing Ruby,
Yeah,
Kelly's. But he wouldn't have been if it was Antonio Sabato Jr. either.
right, right.
You know what I mean? Jagger grew up and became an FBI agent. We saw him on Night Shift or Port Charles or something. I can't even remember. Um, And he was, I mean, he wasn't blonde, but he carried himself the same way. He hated Sonny. You know, I mean,
it's the same
he's
character.
playing the same character.
Yeah. Hey, Ann 53, thank you for joining into the chat. She says, I'm glad Brian is sticking around. Love him. And I think we all
God,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely one of the best casting new cast members to come on in a while. So I'm glad he's sticking around too. Let's see what else. Let's see. To do. Tracy and Violet today again coming in and interrupting Cody and Sasha.
Are you and Cody taking a nap?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jane Elliott has been killing it. Her
So
scenes
good.
with Violet, her scenes with Gio, her scenes with Cody, playing backgammon, just everything that she's been doing has been great. And this is somebody who hired a couple years ago and said that she would only come back recurring. She's on contract. So, it's another side of Jane Elliott and the Tracy character, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, they have her like in a total matriarch kind of role, which I love. I absolutely love that she's in that, matriarch of the Q clan role.
Yep.
So,
I liked how she and Lucy went back and forth about Sonny's money for deception. I like how she was kind of against, Natalia and questioning Natalia coming in as the CFO. So she still has that shrewd businesswoman on one side, but then at home, and it's like the complete separation of work life. Your
right.
balance.
I loved the backgammon thing with her and Cody, where she thought she was teaching him how to play, and he was hustling her. That was.
And he said, "I never, And questions. Any news on what they plan for the young adults? Josh, Dex, and Trina have been scarce.
I think that they're just sidelined right now while they're wrapping everything else up, and their time will come.
Yeah, and the stories will be written for them.
Yeah.
Josh and Dex and Trina aren't going anywhere.
Nope.
Trina did have a pretty good scene with Portia over the past couple of weeks. There, when Heather gets admitted to the hospital again and Portia goes off on her and everything, and Trina's like, "You're chief of staff. You can't be treating patients like that."
Right.
Like, I almost wanted to see Tracy walk in at that point in time, and then Portia has to go in front of the board for a review.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been something good to kind of give the Portia character a little bit of an arc. I guess from what I heard from one of the podcasts, I think it was James' podcast, Robert Gossett is gone at this point. He's not. He's
well, they bumped him to recurring status, and they just don't have anything for him right now. We may see him again, but
but for the most part, he's been
his story wrapped up, and
he's taken over the Savoy, and just
when people are on contract, they have to give them a minimum number of episodes,
right?
Or they have to pay them for them. So they're not keeping most people on contract unless they're using them regularly.
Yeah.
Unless they, because they don't want to, have somebody that they're putting in scenes and paying just for the hell of it.
Oh, of course.
A whole lot. They do it, but Frank, of course, would prefer not to.
Yeah. No, of course. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, notified. Go ahead and react to the chat, even if you're watching and not involved in the chat. Just kind of hit some of those heart emojis or something. It helps the algorithm, helps to put us in front of more people, because we want to grow our channel. But we do want to thank everybody for subscribing. If you are, if not, go ahead and subscribe. But let's see. We do have a couple more things to kind of go over. We kind of touched on Drew and Willow and Drew and Nina. They had their night together where Nina's kind of tempting Drew with her body so that he kind of forgets about Willow.
Yeah. Stupidest plan ever, but okay.
Well,
But the thing is that I
oh,
think that Nina actually likes Drew too.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I think that Drew likes her as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of went from a hate to love relationship type of thing.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds.
Yeah, and I like the Drew and Nina pairing. Of course, Cameron Matheson is kind of going through it in real life as he split from his wife.
Yeah.
And he's do you think that this political campaign and him, do you think he's going to get the senator position or the representative position?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to depend on, when the secret comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
He's not going
see.
to be the first politician to have a secret.
Right. And I mean, honestly, it's the perfect job for them to give him because of how often he leaves, is my opinion. But, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and again, if they do go ahead and have him win the election, he'll be in Washington a lot. So, when he's off doing his other stuff with the Hallmark Channel or Great American Movie Channel, whatever channel he's working with now, and then he's got a game show. So Cameron Matheson is staying busy.
Yes.
Um, let's see. That's pretty much it, I think, that we've kind of gone over quite a bit.
Mhm.
Oh, Molly going to see Ava, with Dex as her chaperone.
The cadet.
Yeah. Um, I like how Jordan kind of called her out for it today.
Hmm.
And said, you can't be doing that, whether or
Right.
not you're in your official capacity, because if you're in your official capacity, you're too close to the case. It's a conflict of interest.
Right.
If you're not, you wouldn't have been allowed to see her anyways.
Right.
So you abused your power. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of liked that Jordan kind of gave her that unofficial heads up, as if to
Right.
say, listen, I know you're grieving, but you can't be doing this.
Right. Get it together.
They're together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it's almost like it kind of felt a little awkward because Jordan was also having, serious uh feelings about Molly not being there for TJ.
Right.
So it's like
She
was a
she
little,
was, but I think Jordan did pretty good,
she did.
I thought.
Yeah. I like seeing Jordan in the deputy mayor role. I like how
Mhm.
she's been doing it. I'm sorry, I cannot suspend disbelief enough to believe that that's TJ's mother. They literally look about 3 years apart. I just, I,
I,
I mean, I know I know that it's suspension of disbelief, and I know that actors are not always the ages that their characters are supposed to be, but I can't believe that, Tanisha Harper is old enough to be Taj Bellow's mother.
yeah, but I mean, look at Haley Berry. Look at Angela Bassett. You would never believe that those actresses
That's
are
true.
as old as they are.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true. That is very true.
so
Um, all right. I think that's kind of about it. Um, that's, I mean, there were other things. Of course, Felicia and Mac, on the same day that Mac and Cody, you know,
I I loved Felicia finally being like, listen,
Yeah,
Mr. Scorpio, let's talk about your history. I liked that.
I did too.
Because, you know,
Because it did
facts
work
matter.
back in his face because he came on as a schemer originally,
Mm-hmm.
con man.
Yep.
You know, and from what I heard, it was a horrible Australian accent that he tried to do originally. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but let's see. Um, anything else? Dante went to go see Christina in the holdings or in the interrogation room today.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a sweet sibling scene where he offered
I
to,
like it.
it was.
And I
Um,
like that, that Laura called him and told him about, about everything going down with Lulu. Dante had a lot of really good scenes today actually. Um his scene with Jason was actually
I
kind of
I was just about
funny.
to say, I enjoyed that on multiple levels.
Yes.
One, they have a good vibe together, and two, I just continue, the petty bitch in me continues to love that, Jason and Sam aren't getting any of those scenes. Because Corte is like, did I stutter?
Yeah.
Did I stutter?
Yeah, there is no J Sam in the future.
There's she's salted and burning the remains a little bit more every day.
Yeah.
And it's a
Um,
beautiful, beautiful thing.
exactly. Yeah, no, I agree completely. Um, anything else you want to go over from the past couple weeks?
I don't think so.
I think we kind of touched on just about everything.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, as always, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in, hitting that like button, subscribing, and getting notified. And also make sure to share this with your friends, all the
Mhm.
people that are GH fans. And then again, just a reminder, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, Dockside at the Bay. We do have a new Doc F Inside shirt that is up on our Threadless shop, which is sudsquaredcircle.threadless.com. Or you can just go to sudsandSquaredCircle.com/merch and buy the shirt. It is inspired by the old ECF&W logo, which I've said numerous times. The Bay is like the ECW of the soap world. But remember, Dockside the Bay tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on this YouTube channel. Also, coming up in September will be the premiere of Take Me Down to Studio City. That's going to be Angela and I back going over the show Studio City that you can find on Roku channel. And we are going to start Angela Answers fan mail as well. So there's quite a number of things coming down the pike. I am also looking for a co-host to do a Heels podcast about the show Heels. It's coming to Netflix starting on September 15th. It was originally on Stars and then canceled after 2 seasons. It's coming back to Heels, and with the WWE Monday Night Raw going to Netflix in January, my hope is that Netflix renews the show and starts producing more. um, Mike O'Malley, who he was in Glee, but he was also the host of Guts years and years ago. He is the executive producer of Heels. Stephen Amell was in the show. So check that out on Netflix, September 15th. I am looking for a co-host to do a rewatch podcast about Heels.
I
So
have a suggestion for you after we finish this up.
all right, sounds good. Well, all right, so we're out of time. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Again, go over to sudsandsportscircle.com/wrestling merch, as we are an official affiliate of WWE Shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Whatever you buy from that link, we do get a commission on. And as always, follow us on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. Both of those are /Suds and Squared Circle. And Angela, where could everybody find you and provide possible content for Angela Answers fan mail?
Pettyprattle.com. All the Petty Prattle Twitters, my Twitter, my personal Twitter, Brooklyn74. And we also have a Petty Prattle Patreon. So I'm everywhere. A little bit of
Sounds good to me. All right, folks, we're out of time. Thank you so much for watching. For Angela, I'm Vinny. I will see you back tomorrow night for Dockside at the Bay. If not, we'll see you next week right here on Suds News. Have a great week, everybody.